5 weird cooking habits of a narcissist. Open your mind. Push your kittens button. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who turns everything, even something as simple as cooking, into a stage for their ego? You know who I'm talking about. The person who doesn't just make a meal, they make it all about them. But today, we're not here to call people out. We're here to call ourselves up. Because the truth is, we all have a little narcissist in us. And sometimes that ego-driven behavior sneaks into our lives in ways we don't even realize. So today, we're going to dive into 5 weird cooking habits of a narcissist. And more importantly, how to turn them into power moves that drive your success instead of sabotaging it. They cook for praise, not for nourishment. You know these people. They don't cook to feed people, they cook to be worshipped. They want applause, admiration, validation. They post their dishes on Instagram before anyone even takes a bite. But here's the truth. Success isn't about looking good, it's about doing good. When you do things for the right reasons, when you create to serve, not to impress, that's when you unlock true fulfillment. They won't share their secret recipe. Narcissists hoard information. They think that if they share their secret sauce, someone else will steal their greatness. But champions don't hoard, they empower others. The more you share, the more you grow. The more you give, the more valuable you become. So don't be afraid to teach, mentor, or help someone else rise. That's how real legacies are built. They make everything a competition. Ever had that friend who turns a casual BBQ into an Iron Chef showdown? They don't just want to cook, they want to win. Here's the thing, healthy competition is great, but competing against yourself, that's how you win at life. Stop worrying about being better than others. Start focusing on being better than yesterday's version of you. They need a standing ovation for every meal. They need the big reactions. The OMG, this is amazing after every bite. If they don't get it, they pout, they sulk, they play the victim. But listen, true confidence doesn't need a stage. Success is about showing up, doing the work, and staying consistent. Whether or not anyone is clapping, your validation comes from within. They never take criticism well. Give them feedback and they explode. You don't like my dish? You must have no taste. Sound familiar? The truth is, growth only happens when you're open to feedback. The best in the world, athletes, CEOs, artists, they don't fear criticism, they use it. They take it, tweak it, and turn it into their next level. So here's the challenge. Look at where your ego is showing up in your life. Are you doing things for praise or purpose? Are you competing with others or elevating yourself? Are you open to feedback or hiding from it? The good news, you get to decide who you become. You can drop the bad habits, shift the mindset, and step into the best version of you. Because at the end of the day, you're not here to impress, you're here to impact. Go out there and cook up a life worth living. Do it for impact, not for validation. Have you ever noticed how some people do things just for the applause? They don't care about the work, they care about the reaction. They chase likes, comments, and compliments. They live for the dopamine hit of external validation. But let me tell you something, validation is a trap. Because if your fuel is the applause, what happens when the room goes silent? What happens when the likes stop coming? What happens when people move on to the next big thing and suddenly you feel invisible? If your self-worth is built on external validation, you will always be a prisoner of other people's opinions. Success is about impact, not approval. The greatest leaders, the most powerful creators, the most unstoppable entrepreneurs, they don't do it for the applause. They do it because they can't not do it. They do it because they have a mission, a purpose, a fire inside them that doesn't require an audience. Look at the most legendary people in history. Do you think they waited for applause before they made their moves? No, they did the work in the dark. They built their greatness when no one was watching. They didn't seek validation. They created value. And because they created value, the world took notice. You've got to shift your mindset. You've got to start doing things because they matter, not because people will clap for you. You've got to wake up every day with a commitment to excellence, regardless of who's watching. That's what separates the good from the great. Because here's the truth. When you focus on impact, the validation takes care of itself. When you show up, deliver results, and change lives, people will notice. But by then, it won't even matter to you because you'll be fueled by something stronger than applause. You'll be fueled by purpose. Stop playing small. Stop waiting for someone to approve of you. Stop giving other people the power to decide your worth. It's time to shift from validation seeker to value creator. That's the key to unstoppable success. Share your knowledge. Some people hoard information like it's gold. They think if they share what they know, someone else will steal their success. They believe that the only way to stay ahead is to keep others behind. But that's a scarcity mindset, and scarcity mindsets kill success. The truth is, knowledge is not meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be shared. Because the more you teach, the more you learn. The more you give, the more valuable you become. The most powerful leaders on the planet don't keep secrets. They build legacies by lifting others up. Think about the greatest mentors in history. They didn't hold back. They didn't keep their wisdom locked away. They shared everything they knew, and in doing so, they created ripple effects that changed the world. If you want to become truly powerful, you need to become a giver. You need to recognize that your knowledge is a tool, not a trophy. And the more you use it to empower others, the more unstoppable you become. Because when you help others rise, you rise too. When you teach someone how to win, you don't lose. You create an ally, a supporter, a force that strengthens your network. The people who hoard knowledge end up isolated. They become stagnant. They stop growing. Because when you stop sharing, you stop evolving. So here's your challenge. Start teaching. Start mentoring. Start giving. Every time you learn something valuable, share it. Every time you master a skill, pass it on. Every time you find a shortcut to success, help someone else take that path. That's how you build true power. That's how you create real influence. That's how you go from being just another competitor to being an icon. Compete against yourself, not others. Competition is a great motivator until it turns toxic, until it becomes an obsession with beating others instead of bettering yourself. Until you measure your success by how many people you've outperformed instead of how much you've grown. And that's where most people go wrong. They think the goal is to win against others. They think success is about being the best in a room full of people. But let me tell you the truth. The only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. Because here's the thing. There will always be someone better than you at something. Always. You can spend your whole life chasing people, comparing yourself, feeling inadequate, feeling behind, or you can shift your focus and decide that your only competition is you. When you wake up in the morning, your goal is not to be better than someone else. Your goal is to be better than the version of yourself from yesterday. Your goal is to push a little harder, grow a little more, learn a little faster. When you compete against others, you give away your power because now your success depends on things you can't control. But when you compete against yourself, you're in charge. You set the pace. You determine the outcome. And guess what? When you do that, when you stop chasing others and start leveling up yourself, you naturally rise to the top. You become unstoppable. You become the person others are trying to catch. So stop wasting time worrying about what everyone else is doing. Focus on you. Focus on your growth, your progress, your evolution. That's how you win. Confidence doesn't need a stage. Real confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need validation. Because true confidence comes from one thing, knowing who you are. When you truly know yourself, when you are secure in your skills, your vision, your purpose, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Most people chase confidence the wrong way. They think it comes from being admired, from being seen, from being praised. But external confidence is an illusion. If your confidence depends on other people's approval, it's not confidence. It's insecurity disguised as arrogance. Confidence is built through action, through repetition, through putting in the work when no one is watching. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest performers, the greatest leaders. They don't wait for confidence before they take action. They take action and confidence follows. Confidence is built by doing the thing you fear over and over until it becomes second nature. Confidence is built in the dark long before the spotlight ever hits. The people who truly succeed in life are the ones who don't need recognition to show up. They put in the work, they stay committed, they stay disciplined, and because of that, they become unstoppable. So if you want to be confident, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting to feel ready. Just start, show up, do the work. Confidence will come. Be open to feedback. Most people say they want to grow. They say they want to improve. But the second someone gives them feedback, they get defensive. They shut down. They make excuses. Because deep down, they don't actually want to grow. They just want to be told they're already great. But listen to me. If you're not open to feedback, you are blocking your own success. Every champion in the world, every top performer, every game changer, they don't just accept feedback, they crave it. They don't run from criticism, they chase it. Because they know that feedback is the secret weapon of growth. Feedback is like a mirror. It shows you what you can't see. It reveals the blind spots that are holding you back. And when you ignore feedback, you're walking around blindfolded, wondering why you keep hitting walls. So let me ask you, how do you handle feedback? Do you resist it? Do you get offended? Do you defend yourself? Or do you listen? Do you absorb it? Do you take it in and use it to level up? Because the way you handle feedback determines the speed of your success. The people who grow the fastest are the ones who take criticism and turn it into fuel. They don't see it as an attack, they see it as an opportunity. So here's what I want you to do. The next time someone gives you feedback, don't react, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Even if it stings, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it challenges your ego, because every piece of feedback, good or bad, is a stepping stone to your next level. And if you can master the art of accepting and applying feedback, you will become unstoppable. Drop the ego, embrace purpose. Ego is the killer of dreams. It's the silent assassin that stops people from reaching their full potential. It whispers, you're already great. You don't need to change. And that's the moment growth stops. Because here's the truth. Ego wants to keep you comfortable. It wants to protect your image, not your future. It wants you to stay exactly where you are, doing what you've always done, so you never have to face the discomfort of real growth. But purpose doesn't care about comfort. Purpose says, we're going to the next level, whether you're ready or not. Purpose doesn't care about looking good. It cares about making an impact. And that's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who break through. The ones who stay stuck let their ego run the show. The ones who break through serve something bigger than themselves. The most powerful people in the world, the ones who truly leave a mark, are the ones who have let go of their ego and stepped into their purpose. They are driven by something greater than themselves. So let me ask you, are you being led by ego or by purpose? Are you making choices based on how they make you look or based on the impact they create? Are you protecting your image or are you chasing your mission? If you're serious about reaching the next level, you have to be willing to kill your ego. You have to be willing to let go of looking good, being right, and playing it safe. You have to be willing to get messy, make mistakes, and step into something bigger than yourself. Because when you drop the ego and embrace your purpose, everything changes. You stop caring about what people think. You stop hesitating. You stop playing small. And you start moving forward with unstoppable momentum. You are in control of your story. Most people walk through life like passengers. They let circumstances dictate their actions. They let other people define their worth. They let fear decide what they will and won't do. And then they wonder why they feel powerless, why they feel stuck, why they feel like life is just happening to them instead of for them. But here's the truth. You are the author of your own story. No one else gets to write your future. No one else gets to decide how far you go. No one else gets to tell you what's possible. The only person in control of your destiny is you. But most people don't take that control. They let old stories define them. I've never been good at that. That's just not who I am. I wasn't raised that way. I've already tried and failed. Those are just stories. And the second you recognize that, you take back your power, because if you don't like your story, you can change it. If you don't like where you are, you can shift it. If you don't like how you feel, you can rewrite the entire narrative. Every single day you have a choice. You can keep repeating the same patterns, telling the same story, making the same excuses, or you can decide right now to take the pen back and write a different ending. Because here's the truth, your past does not define you. Your failures do not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. The only thing that defines you is what you do next. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep letting life happen to you? Or are you going to take ownership, make the decisions, take the actions, and write a story worth reading? Because the moment you decide that you are in control, everything changes. You stop waiting, you stop doubting, you stop hesitating, and you start moving, you start building, you start creating a life that is so powerful, so impactful, so extraordinary that people will look at you and say, how did they do that? But it starts with a decision to take control, a decision to stop letting circumstances dictate your future, a decision to pick up the pen and start writing the story you want to live. Final thought, right now, you have two choices. You can keep playing small, staying comfortable, waiting for permission, making excuses, or you can decide that today is the day you start living at your highest potential. You already have everything you need inside of you. You already have the power, the ability, the drive. The only thing missing is your decision to step into it. So no more waiting, no more hesitation, no more excuses. Take control, step up, show up, and create the life you were born to live. The decision that changes everything. Listen to me. There is a moment in life when you decide, a moment when you stop playing small, a moment when you stop waiting for permission, a moment when you say, enough is enough, I'm stepping into my power now. And that moment is right now. No more living for applause, no more hoarding knowledge, no more competing against the world instead of elevating yourself. No more waiting for confidence, running from feedback, or letting your ego hold you back. No more acting like life is something that happens to you, because you are the creator of your destiny. The world doesn't need another person sitting on the sidelines. The world needs you, your talents, your vision, your leadership. It needs you at your best. But that version of you, the most powerful, unstoppable, unshakable version of you, that version is on the other side of your excuses. So right here, right now, make the decision, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Decide that you will no longer seek validation. You will create value. Decide that you will no longer hoard knowledge. You will empower others. Decide that you will no longer compete to beat others. You will level up yourself. Decide that you will no longer wait for confidence. You will build it through action. Decide that you will no longer fear feedback. You will use it as your advantage. Decide that you will no longer serve your ego. You will serve your purpose. Decide that you will no longer let life happen to you. You will take control, because your future is waiting. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the decision you make right now. So make it, own it, and step into the life you were born to create. Let's go.